Good day, everyone. We are Team B, and we are here to present to you our Meiosis model. Firstly, let us show you our Meiosis model. We were given a task to make a model of meiosis using materials found at home. This wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the cooperation of the group. The picture on the left is our finished model of meiosis. So, how did we do it? Firstly, we did it by dividing the roles of the members so each one has a job to do, and it will make the work faster. The materials we used to make the model were clay, an old cardboard, and some papers.
Answer to the challenging questions and discussion of the output. The challenging questions. Sometimes you accidentally bite your lip or you get wounded, but in a matter of days the wound heals. How does it happen? Why do you think there's genetic diversity, that we look different from each other? How will you explain the process? Answer to the challenging questions. Sometimes you accidentally bite your lip or get wounded, but in a matter of days, the wound heals. Is it magic, or is there another explanation? Every day, every hour, every second, one of the most important events in life is going on to your body. Cells are dividing. Cell division results in the formation of new cells. A single cell divides to form two cells, which then split to form four cells, and so on. We call this process cell division and cell replication because it results in the formation of new cells as old cells divide. Cells' capacity to divide is unique among living organisms. Why do you think there is genetic diversity, that we look different from each other? Meiosis is responsible for the genetic diversity found in all sexually reproducing species. During meiosis, a small portion of each chromosome separates and reattaches to another. This is known as crossing over or genetic recombination. Full siblings produced from the same two parents, egg and sperm cell, will look very different from one another due to genetic recombination. Explain the process. The process by which a parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells is known as cell division. Cell division is normally part of the broader cell cycle. Mitosis is a stage of the cell cycle in which replicated chromosomes divide into two new nuclei. Cell division produces genetically identical cells with the same total number of chromosomes. In general, mitosis, nuclear division, is accompanied by the S stage and interphase, during which DNA replication occurs, and is often followed by telophase and cytokinesis, which divides the cytoplasm organelles and cell membrane of one cell into two new cells containing approximately equatorial nuclei. The mitotic process of an animal cell cycle is described by the various stages of mitosis. The division of the mother cell into two genetically identical daughter cells, meiosis, producing four haploid daughter cells after one cycle of DNA replication and two divisions. In the first division, homologous chromosomes are divided, and sister chromatids are separated in the second division. For some stage in their lives, both of these cell division processes are used in the process of sexual reproduction. Both are thought to have existed in the last eukaryotic common ancestor.
Discussion of the output. What is meiosis? Meiosis is a special type of cell division of germ cells in sexually reproducing organisms used to produce the gametes, such as sperm or egg cells. It involves two rounds of division that ultimately result in four cells with only one copy of chromosome. Difference between mitosis and meiosis. Cells divided and reproduce in two ways, mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis results in two identical daughter cells, whereas meiosis results in four sex cells. What is 2n equals 6? What does 2n equals 6 mean in meiosis? Hence, an organism with cells 2n equals 6 would be an organism that has only 6 chromosomes or 3 pairs. Meiosis is a reduction division in that it produces haploid daughter cells, each with half the genetic information of the diploid cell. And here, we have the reflection of the group.
Because of the activity, I was able to differentiate mitosis and meiosis. I was able to learn a lot about meiosis because it is the one given to us to make a model about. The model's design is mostly made out of clay. We molded the clay to form shapes that resemble meiosis, and after molding the clay, we put it in a piece of cardboard and labeled the parts accordingly.
Because of the exercise, I was able to distinguish between mitosis and meiosis, and I was able to learn a lot about meiosis because it was the one provided to us in the model. The model is largely composed of clay, which is resculpted into forms that represents meiosis. After shaping the clay, we placed it on a piece of cardboard and named it the components accordingly.
Because of the activity, I was able to distinguish between mitosis and meiosis. And I was able to learn a lot about meiosis because that is the one that we were given to model. The model is mainly made of clay, which we shaped into shapes and mimic meiosis before placing it in a piece of cardboard and labeling the pieces accordingly.
After all the hard work on finishing our model and conducting research about it, we can finally understand what's the purpose of these two and its counterparts, all thanks to the model that we made out of recycled stuff at home. The purpose of mitosis is cell generation, growth, and asexual reproduction, while the purpose of meiosis is the production of gametes for sexual reproduction. Maybe we can use our model to help future learners easily understand this special type of cells.
After all of our efforts to complete our model and conduct research on it, we can finally understand why these two and their counterparts exist. All thanks to the model we created at home out of recycled materials. Mitosis is responsible for cell regeneration, growth, and asexual reproduction, whereas meiosis is responsible for the production of gametes for sexual reproduction. Perhaps we can use our model to help future students understand this unique type of cell.
Meiosis is from the Greek word meio, which means to diminish or to make smaller. It is a process where a single cell divides twice to produce 4 cells, containing half the original amount of genetic information. These cells are sex cells, sperm in males, and eggs in females.
I was able to tell the difference between mitosis and meiosis, and I learned a lot about meiosis because it was the model we were given. The model is primarily made of clay, which is molded into meiosis-like structures. We placed the clay on a piece of cardboard after shaping it and labeled the components accordingly.
I have learned and developed many things such as skills that were useful during and after this activity. Before creating and performing the activity, a plan was our top priority before doing the project. After some debates and confirmation, we come to a conclusion to proceed to our project. Luckily, the deadline of the said project was long enough for us to prepare and finish. So, our plan was to provide recyclable materials such as clay and paper to use for our project. Then we started creating a model that mimicked meiosis, thus finishing it. After finishing, we understood more on what meiosis is and its function to us and the environment. I also improved some of my skills such as communication that became the key lining for us to harmonize to finish the project.